there, welcome back for another episode. My name is Amy Lloyd. I am here today with Shannon Dawn as we are talking about being present with your partner.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Amy. So we want to talk about how you show up for your spouse, right? I think the number one thing is to show up for yourself. If you're not in the best place mentally and physically, you're not going to be able to show up for anyone else. So make sure that you take care of yourself. And then, of course, when it comes to your spouse, the first thing I would say is maybe when they're going through failures or stuck moments, be the partner that brings their strengths forward. Remember all the things that they've told you and shared with you and said, I was so great in this moment, that moment, I took something and made it better. Whatever point in their life they did that, make them remember that so that they get unstuck. They remember how great they are. They remember they have tools and strategies and you're there for them. And that's it.
And you know, you say that's it, but that's so powerful. It's simple and it's so powerful. And I love that you started out by saying, you know, to be there for yourself. And it's only when we have our own house in order that we can really show up for anyone else in a real way and in a sustainable way.
Yes.
And then you also went on to talk about, I guess really it makes me think of the whole field of emotional intelligence. So I love that concept of helping them bring their strengths forward, helping them reconnect with what they know about themselves and what works for them and what they're good at, and then using those tools in this current moment of their struggle. But it also, reminds me of emotional intelligence because for me to be able to show up for another person that way, I have to be super clear on what my emotions are. I have to have done my inner work and have built the capacity to feel my feelings, to work through them, to use my emotions as tools, as messengers, not something to be avoided. And once I have that capacity and self-knowledge, I can then recognize in my partner, hey, maybe they're struggling and need some support, rather than going into my head and making it about me.
Yes. Great points. And you know what? I think you're mentioning indirectly somewhat of a space of emotions. So when it's not just about yourself, you're also giving them space to grow and change and become who they are. Maybe what they did before in the past worked for them and it won't now. Right? So we have to relinquish any control and just understand that people do change. Each decade, we're not the same as we were, and how we process and deal with issues can, shift out of what we've known them to be. So that might surprise some of you. It might shock you. It might make you question, like, where are they going in life now? Why are they acting like this? But maybe it's just something that they've learned, or they want to experiment with themselves, and, give them that space.
So it shocked me. I have a personal story around that. I can't even remember what it was about now. This was just a few years ago. I said something to my husband. I was confused about something. I'm like, but wait, you don't like this, or you do like this, or whatever it was. And he said, that was 20 years ago. Will you let me evolve? And I'm like, oh, yeah, good point. I wouldn't want him confining me to who I was 20 years ago. And it was just such a wake-up call to me. Like, yeah, that was such a beautiful, I mean, he was half joking, half serious. He wasn't like yelling at me or anything like that, but will you just let me evolve? And so it was a good invitation for me to be present, which is what we're talking about, right? Because I was making assumptions based on the person I met 20 years ago, rather than being with him in this moment with who he is now.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And you know what? It's nice that you were the receiving partner who actually was aware enough to acknowledge it and accept it, because there are partners that wouldn't respect it, right? So congratulations to you for being that person. I think the other thing to think about is, being aware of, to be present for your partner is being aware of the verbals and nonverbal cues, right? Their words, their feelings, the way they're processing. Just basically make yourself an easy access to understand them, which is exactly what you just said, Amy. You are an easy access of understanding to him, his needs, his wants, his desires, whatever that is. And that's fantastic, right?
Yeah, and it makes me think of something that in the coaching world, we are taught how to do active listening. And, I think of coaching, I think everybody needs to be trained as a coach, even if they have no interest in it professionally, because coaching is a form of communication. And so active listening is one part of that, but it's listening with all of you to all of the other person. And so being mindful, present of your body language and their body language, because what is it, like 75% or even more of our communication is through body language. Yeah, it's nonverbal. And so what is your body language communicating? Is it what you want to be communicating? But then also,
yes,
how can you be present with perceiving what their body language is communicating while also maintaining space for maybe they're not communicating what they would like to be? And so ask questions to help clarify. Hey, it looks like you're feeling this, is that right? Is there something going on? Ask clarifying questions, and it could help them learn to be more mindful and present as well.
Right. And also questions, they can either spin two people towards each other or spin each other away. And it's funny because quotes and books and theories and everything that we think about regarding, knowledge, sometimes we take it. I mean, a lot of times I do too. We don't take it seriously. We think, oh, I'll just say this. Oh, I'll just think like that and be haphazard about it. But actually, sometimes someone will literally change or shift because of something said to them. Again, towards you, towards something better for themselves, towards whatever that is, or away. And especially when someone's under stress, you want to be really mindful, tippy-toe around, what it is you think you need to say versus not, right? And just be mindful again. That's it.
That's a really great point. Yeah, and to further that point with that mindfulness in your questioning, don't be attached to the outcome.
Ooh, yes.
Be curious. Ask from a place of curiosity and accept their answer for what they say it is, right? And now, there's a whole other thing that we're not going to get into today where they could think they're answering honestly, but really they're lying to themselves and they're not meaning to lie to you. And we can energetically pick up on that, but we're not getting into that today. That's a whole other video.
True.
But for the purposes of being present, today's topic, just accept what they say their answer is. And there are times when to do that, it might bring up a lot of internal stuff. You might start feeling threatened somehow or angry, and that's okay. I never want to encourage anyone to dismiss that. I actually want you to lean into it and communicate it. So, okay, I asked my partner something, their answer elicited a reaction in me. Share that with them. Like, hey, I'm feeling, you said this thing and this is what I'm feeling now. And that just opens up more room for discussion. Again, continuing presence.
Right. But again, be mindful if it's necessary in that moment, just in case they're really stressed out for whatever reason. But of course, what Amy said is true. It's all about coming together and building something deeper together as you go on. And I love that. And I was just, going to say some more things. Just be proactive in steering that ship together, right? You never know what's going to happen, what storms are going to come up. But all you want to do is make sure that you're collaborating and building a future that's going to create the best outcome for both of you. And if you find yourself stuck, again, you can get help, coaching, therapy, friends. You guys could journal together. There's lots of videos on YouTube that can help. Never stay in a state of impossibility. There's always something to figure out.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's in my vision statement, that I believe that we live in a world of endless possibilities. And so always remember that.
Yes. And Marie Forleo says, and she's a life coach, everything is figure outable.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes. So with that, I think I am good with this subject. How about you?
Feeling great. And audience, I hope you are too. I hope you learn some skills to go play with and practice presencing with your partner.
Thank you very much. I'm Shannon Dawn at shannondawn.com, relationship and life coach.
And I am Amy Lloyd from Ascension Wellness, and I am your dream coach. So I help you reconnect with yourself so that you can start living your dreams. Thank you for joining us for today's episode.
Bye, everyone.